Most sprinters ruin their entire season in the general preparation phase of training, right? And it's not because they're lazy, but because their off season has no structure, no progression, and no purpose. And today I'm going to give you the exact tactical clarity on what real general preparation phase should look like, how to structure it every week, and how to progress it correctly. How much tempo, how much strength, and how many plyos you actually need, and how to tailor your general preparation phase to your own athletic profile. And this is the blueprint, right, that most coaches will charge thousands for. And today I'm going to give it to you for free. So let's get into it. My name is Lawrence Elo Johnson. I am a professional sprinter, multiple time NCAA All-American, former dual sport D1 athlete in track and football, and every single athlete who I've coached on a one-to-one basis for at least 6 months has set a new personal record either on the track or in one of our speed testing metrics, and I ran my first wind-aided sub-10 performance of my career. GPP, it has one mission, right? You need to prepare your body for real speed work coming later. And if you screw this up, you're gonna get injured in your SPP phase. So if you nail this, you explode later in the year. So GPP is all about building tissue durability, rebuilding strength, and reestablishing mechanics, and increasing aerobic capacity, and improving mobility and stability, and laying a foundation for acceleration and plows. It's not about getting in shape, and it's not about crushing yourself, and it's not about running cross-country workouts, right? So these are the 5 non-negotiables of general preparation, and you need all 5. Number 1 is aerobic development. That's your tempo, 100s, 200s, and 150s, 60 to 70% intensity, 2 to 3 times a week early, and 1 to 2 times a week later, because tempo builds tendon health, recovery capacity, tissue tolerance, and body composition. Number 2 is acceleration fundamentals. That's your light technical work, marches, wall drills, dribbles, A series, 10-meter low intensity acceleration, and this builds mechanics without stress. Number 3 is strength development. Your main lifts, squats, trap bar deadlifts, RDLs, hip thrusts, lunges, and your core work, anti-rotational and bracing work, because general preparation strength equals building the horsepower and not maxing out. Number 4 is power preparation. You need to do low level plows. That's ankling, straight leg bounce, low hops, med ball throws, and light bounding, because you want bounce without central nervous system overload. And number 5 is mobility and stability. So daily, we're talking about hip mobility, ankle stiffness, foot arch activation, abductor stability, core integrity, because if you skip this, you'll pay for it in your SPP phase. So this is the exact weekly template for general preparation, right? This is how you can train so you can start using this immediately. Monday is acceleration plus a strength and warm-up and your wall drill series. So let's call it 5 to 8 sets of 10-meter sprints at 60 to 75% intensity, 8 skips and dribbles. And your strength is going to be your front squat 4 sets of 5, RDLs 4 sets of 5, step ups 3 sets of 6, and your core work. Tuesday would be mobility and tempo, 8 to 12 reps of 100 meters at 60 to 70% intensity with walk back rest. You can do hip and ankle mobility and circuit work here, right? Wednesday should be about power and elasticity. So that's straight leg bounce 3 times 20 meters, ankling 3 times 20 meters, med ball throws, forward, overhead, and backward, and light hurdle hip mobility. Thursday should be a strength B day, so that's your trap bar deadlift, hip thrust, and Nordic progressions. You can focus on your calf and foot complex after you do those other major movers, and throw in some core work. And Friday should be technical rhythm plus tempo work. So that's 4 to 5 times 150s at 65 to 70% intensity. You can include your dribble series and some arm mechanics. Saturday is an optional recovery conditioning, right? I hate using the word conditioning, but that's your pool tempo, that's your bike tempo, that's circuit training, and Sunday should be off. This is the cleanest, most effective general preparation structure that most athletes have probably never used that you can start using today. But let's go ahead and show you how this exact progression model is used from tactical and a simple plug and play method, right? Week 1 through 2 should be your baseline. The goal is to get your body used to training. So that's low intensity accelerations. That's light strength work. That's tempo 2 to 3 times a week. That's very light plyos and hip mobility work. No intensity. And week 3 should be to build, right? The goal is to slightly increase work capacity. So that's accelerations at 70-75%. Strength, 4 sets of 5. Tempos, 10 to 12 reps of 100 meters. Medium plyos and more bounding. Weeks 5 to 6, this is your first intensity jump. And the goal here is to introduce real power. So accelerations, 80 to 85% intensity. Strength shifts to 4 sets of 3 or 5 sets of 3. And then plyos, 3 times 30 meters. Tempo should still stay moderate, and we want to have bounds and throws and push days. Now, weeks 7 through 8 is your speed prep. The goal here is to prepare for your SPP phase of training. So that's accelerations up to 20 and 30 meters. Build-ups up to 50 to 60 meters at around 70 to 80% intensity. Strengths moves to power focus. Plyos are more elastic and tempos drop slightly, and this is where athletes feel like their body is coming alive. So these are the deadly mistakes that athletes make. They do too much conditioning because general preparation does not mean cross country. Next is doing max velocity too early, right? I was talking to an athlete and they were doing like flies, right? And I'm like, bro, you're gonna blow a hamstring. Or you're doing flies in the season, you're trying to run fast in June, right? And you just got out of football and you're doing flies, like that's crazy, but that's just how it goes, right? So doing too much max velocity too early, right? That's literally a hamstring injury waiting to happen. No progressions, right? That's doing the same week 6. That's doing the same things week after week. And that's why athletes stay slow. Or lifting too heavy too early because you're just building fatigue and not performance. Or ignoring mobility and stability because your body won't survive the SPP phase of training if you're not doing that, right? Or not tailoring to your own athlete type. So a powerful athlete does not equal an elastic athlete. So a 400 guy does not equal a 100-meter guy. And here's the truth, right? You can copy a week, you can copy a progression, and you can copy a workout. But what makes general preparation elite is the nuance and knowing when to increase intensity and knowing when to pull your volume and knowing how your body responds and knowing which drills actually make you faster, knowing what your mechanics need and knowing how to avoid overuse patterns, knowing how to transition to the SPP phase cleanly. And that's the difference between training hard and building a season that produces real PRs, because execution matters more than information. There's never a shortage of information, but proper execution is where most athletes need a coach and where most coaches need an actual mentor. So here's the truth. If you nail general preparation, your entire season will level up. If you mess it up, nothing else matters. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you share it with somebody that's just wasting their time. All right, they're just doing random things. They might even have a good season doing random things. But then the question is this: if you don't have a system to get a predictable outcome, next year might be the worst year of your entire career because you don't know what you did to get to that point. So I encourage you guys to track like your life depends on it. Track like your speed depends on it, and be consistent in whatever you do. So now you have two choices. You can be like the 99% of people who watch this video, get value from it, and just click on the next video, right? Or you can be like the 1% of people who actually achieve their goals, and you can do that by joining my free community called Spring University in the description of this video. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe because we'll be posting another video in the next 48 hours.